Hey everybody, hope you're doing fantastic. We are in the middle of a heat wave here, but we are not gonna let it stop us. We've been planning for a couple weeks now. We've gathered all our parts and it is time to start our van build. So what we're going for with this van build is kind of like a stealth build that's gonna be easy to make. It won't take us very long to put everything together. It's gonna be removable, and most importantly, it's gonna be affordable. Now, the first thing that we had to do, we actually didn't record, but we took the middle and the back row seats out, which left this vehicle feeling surprisingly spacious. So we have a couple of things to do before our van is going to be ready to go out on the road. And the first thing we decided to do was to make window covering so that someone can't peek into the vehicle and see what we're doing. We went to Lowe's and bought this reflective insulating material to help us keep some of the heat out and also keep our privacy. First things first, we're gonna cut the Reflectix and then we're gonna cover the outside with this black fabric that we got from Fabricland. All in, this is gonna cost us about $60 Canadian, and the window coverings we were looking at online were $120 American.
A little more work, but hopefully it's worth it, and this way we can make sure that they absolutely fit to our windows rather than maybe being a little bit off. Nothing better than a great summer tan. We've cut our Reflectix now into rectangles slightly bigger than the windows, just so that we have a little bit of room to trim, because our windows are not squares. They are kind of, start off with one and see how it fits. Not bad. Now we just have to trim the edges and the part that comes out, and they should fit like a glove.
We have our Reflectix up in all 5 of the windows that we're planning on putting it in now, so I think it's time that we put the black fabric on the back of them.
The other thing we have to do in order to ensure that we have complete privacy is turn this big old chunk of cloth into a front curtain. We need to cover behind the driver and passenger seat so that during the night no one can look into our bedroom. It'll help just to give us a little bit more privacy and maybe make the space look a little bit more cozy. Now, I can't stitch this by hand, so time to enlist the help of a sewing machine. Well, good morning from another beautiful hot day here in southwestern Ontario. But guess what today is? It's time to build a bed. Over the last week, we've been collecting all the materials that we need to do this van build out. And one of those things was buying our wood so that we could build our bed frame. We don't own a lot of tools, and borrowing them just seems slightly impractical. We learned something really cool in the process of doing this, and that's that at Home Depot, you can actually get them to cut all your wood for you into precise cuts that you need for your project. So we took them a sheet that had all the cuts that we needed in order to do our project, and they cut every single piece of wood for us. Now it's time to put all these pieces together using the one tool we do happen to have. We spent hours researching what van build would be best for us. Ultimately, the cheapest way to do it was to build it ourselves. But there was a couple things that we needed stylistically in order to make this space functional for us. We did not use a template off the internet, nor have we ever seen this idea. This one is a Rich and Kirsten special, because you won't see this van design anywhere else. It was great that Home Depot was able to do the cuts for us. However, it does leave a bit of a jagged edge on the wood. Step 1 is to sand all the edges so that nothing gets caught in them and we come home with no splinters.
So now that we have all the edges on our permanent piece of our bed nice and smooth, it's time to start assembling it. And what we're gonna do first is attach a couple L brackets to both vertical support beams. right off the bat, just to make sure that everything is aligned properly the way that we want it. First, I'm gonna be drilling some pilot holes with the drill bit that was recommended. These are not very big screws, so the pilot hole does not have to be very big. Well, that's the last screw for the permanent piece here, and it's feeling mighty sturdy, if I do say so myself. Well, our bed is actually 2 components, and what we've decided to do is make a removable component, which are going to double as drawers for additional storage in our van. So the next step is for us to make both of the drawers.
Anywho, these are gonna become the other part of our bed. We finished off one, and now we
took us like an hour and a half. Not that bad. The guy at Home Depot saved us a ton of time by pre-cutting this. Now we have created our permanent bed plank, and we've also created both of our drawers. We can't really do anything now until we actually put it in the vehicle.
like a dream.
It's perfect.
Good job, babe. Gonna take a moment to admire our work. Edge to edge, baby.
Just so you get an idea about what's going on here, there's our main platform that still needs to be leveled. Okay, slight change of plans. We decided to show how we leveled our bed because if you have a Dodge Grand Caravan, a Chrysler Town & Country, or a Volkswagen Routan, and you want to try the similar bed build platform in it, you're going to have this problem. The height difference between where the back 3 seats and the middle 2 seats in the Volkswagen Routan would have sat is 2.5 inches, and because the difference is gradual, it creates a very odd contour that you have to try and fit. So what we did was cut a graduating slope out of the 3 vertical supports in our seat, and it seemed to fit decently, except for at the front, we still had to find a way to support it. With the help of our friendly neighbor, we put almost like leveling feet in it to help create one flat, solid platform. And we also put an off-cut piece of plywood on the ground as well in the divot to make sure that our drawers would slide easier. Also, in order to extend our bed and to make our build more functional, we built drawers that can fit quite a bit of stuff and fit underneath the main platform during the day while we're driving, so we have more room for activities. It did create one issue though. When we pull our drawers out and put our other sleeping plank on top of them, they're quite a bit lower. So what we did was took 4x4 post wood and cut them into 8 different pieces so that we can prop them up and create one flat level plank. And to be honest, it's worked out quite well. I would consider, if we were building a more permanent version, a different design, but for what we were looking for, this was very simple to build. It's easily removable and it was incredibly cost effective. So I think it's a win. I'm pretty happy with this. All in all, the build functions almost exactly how we hoped it would. Not only is it all useful space, it's now functional as well. Great success. The build didn't take quite as long as I thought, but I guess the whole point about what we were trying to do here is that it was supposed to be quick, easy, and affordable, and I think we achieved that, and ultimately I think it's going to be quite a comfortable sleep for us in here.
I'd say we ticked all the boxes we needed to in this build. I'm pretty proud of us for coming up with it, and I guess we just need to make this a little bit more comfortable right now.
There is one last thing though that we think probably should be part of the build video that we haven't shown yet.
How much better is this? It's actually a bedroom and a living room in here.
We went to Len's Mills and bought 4-inch thick foam. Unfortunately, we were looking for 3-inch thick foam and they didn't have it, so we decided to settle with 4-inch thick, even softer foam for our own sleeping pleasure. We're almost certainly going to cut it and then upholster it. We figure that, again, that's something that we're going to touch on in the next video because we are going to do a full tour of everything that we're planning on bringing with us on our road trip.
We think we figured out some really nifty ways to basically turn this into a proper cover, so hopefully you guys will see that in the next video. And you'll also get to see all the little fixings that we don't talk about really, or that may not be as visible, to help make this place just feel a little bit more homey.
On the plus side, this foam is quite comfortable. I'm gonna sleep very well in this fan.
Well, Richard naps. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Tripped it a little bit, but it's okay. Good. That's
Nice.
it. Here we go.
Oh, no.
All right, 4 more screws for this. I'm gonna drill all the pilots together now.